going to be the episode where we get a whole bunch of New York is different than the LC, and I'm over it, because even watching this episode, I was just like, Gina, it's not that big of a deal. There's a difference. Real talk, there's a difference, but Gina, I just felt like the way she was talking about women from New York just didn't amount up to my experience when I lived there. Pretty much have been, you know, acclimated within the New York culture my entire life. Like, I had family and friends there, so I've been going to New York since I was a freaking child, and I lived there for a few years, a large part of my 20s. So it's like, you know, is this Long Island? Because that may be it, because I don't do Long Island. I do different boroughs, not Long Island. Let's get into it. So Emily's daughter barking at cars is me. I love that little wild child, and you could tell that Emily was embarrassed. But, you know, the cameras, they have these cameras, not cameramen, but they have cameras that they put into their cars so that they can record them when they're driving, so that they don't miss conversations and things of that nature. So, you know, Gina, like, when she first started doing it, she was just like, oh gosh, she's barking again. She knows I'm on camera. But that little girl saw a car and went for it, and I loved it. I love that she was just an authentic kid. I loved it, because specifically within California, especially those who come from money, and especially kids who are involved in the entertainment industry, there's an innocence that is lost with them. That is one of the main reasons why I don't plan on having a family out here. No shade to Los Angeles. It has brought me so many amazing platforms within my career. You know what I mean? Like, I could never have done what I've done in Los Angeles anywhere else. So I am so thankful to this city. It will always be a home to me. Just not where I'm raising my kids, because the children here are not children, and I can't. I want my kids to have that innocence. So I love seeing Gina's, Emily's daughter. I love seeing her bark at cars. Because I'm like, she's just a little girl. Her hair was wild and all over the place. I just loved it. And it made me like Emily a little bit more, because I'm just like, within this whole, you know, plastic OC lifestyle, you guys did something right to let that girl still be just expressive and fun, and not yet told what she needs to be, you know, or walk this sort of line. So I love that. Like, good on you, Emily. You know what I mean? Because she's free. She's free, and that is what children should be. So I loved it. I said, yes, baby. Bark at that Lexus. So now let's get into Gina. And OC and New York are so different. We get it. You're on totally different, you know, coasts, okay? There's a huge difference culturally, financially, because let's be real, OC got money, but New York got money. That's money. Like, I'm real talk. New York is money, okay? So, yes, there are some differences. And Gina, you Long Island. No shade, but you keep on saying New York like you from Manhattan. And honey, Because at first, when I was hearing her talk, I was like, you giving me Queens. Are you giving me Queens? I would even accept it. Queens. Long Island says you need to stop. She's doing too much with the whole New York thing, and people are going to start bursting her bubble like you guys did in my comment section. Y'all was like, she is from Long Island. She needs to stop. Y'all were like, she is too pressed about New York City to be from Long Island. Anyway, she just, this whole episode, she kind of got on my nerves with it a bit, but I'm Team Gina by the end of this episode and next week's episode. However, in the beginning it was too much. It was just like, oh my, OC ladies, they're so plastic and fake out here. But in New York, you can give your opinion and say whatever you want and it's okay. It's not the truth. Like, one thing about yes, New Yorkers are very abrasive. Yes, they will tell you what's on your mind. But the thing about New York is you got to be able to fight. Okay? Because if you're going to give your opinion, and the people who don't say anything about your opinion, if they do not like it, the reason why they're not saying that is because you can fight. Okay? When you say something out of your mouth or whatever, you give an opinion about New York City, then you better be ready to knuckle up. Because if you say something that somebody don't like in that city, they're going to bust you in the eye. I've been on enough New York City trains to see how that goes. Okay? When I first moved there, listen. Because I had a bougie New York experience as a kid. I was always in cars. I never rode the train. I didn't even know that that's how people really got around there until I actually moved there as a teenager. And My first couple of trips on the train, I called my mom crying. I was like, I want to come home. This place is scary. There were so many fights, and they would act like nothing was happening. One time I was on the train, and this lady, there was two ladies sitting in this one seat, and there was two ladies sitting next to this very small seat. Like, and obviously the ladies were blessed with some huge rumps. So there wasn't enough room for a person, maybe a child, but not a grown woman to sit in the seat. So this lady goes to sit in this, like, squeeze herself in the seat. And as soon as she starts to do it, this black dude across the train is like, I wouldn't do that if I was you. He's like, Ma, I wouldn't do that if I was you. And she's just like, my feet hurt. And she sits there. Early gentrifiers. So she sits, like, squeezes herself, and one lady is sitting, a Caribbean woman. The one lady is sitting next to her, and she's, like, moving over, and she's like, she sucks her teeth, and she looks at, she's like, what? You know, I'm not gonna do the accent. I won't. But she's looking at her like, what are you, like, why would you even do this? And the lady's like, well, my feet hurt. And, you know, both conversations are making sense to me, right? But I'm like 18, I'm terrified. People are screaming. Nobody else is being fazed by it. They are, like, yelling at each other. And the dude who told the lady not to do it, he was like, I told you not to sit there. What are you doing? Get up. And, like, so he starts yelling at the lady. And then the lady starts yelling back. And then the other lady's just like, you better get up. Like, you better get up. And the lady's like, no, I paid my money to be here. So the woman didn't even flinch, takes her right hand and starts pounding the lady in the face. I screamed because, you know, I'm an 18-year-old girl from Philadelphia. Like, it's rough there, but it's not New York rough. And as I scream, I'm like, you know, looking around to see if anybody's going to do something. People reading their papers, all cultures, minding their damn business. That was my New York experience. That's what I was just like, okay, this place is different. That lady got beat in her face, so she got off at her. Stop! I was like, lady, just get up. But nobody said anything except for that one dude. When the lady got off crying, face welled up with, like, bruises. I'm not laughing, but I'm just like, girl, why didn't you just get up? After the first punch, I would have got up. But she stayed there and took all them licks till it was time for her to get off the train. Like, they fought the whole time. So she gets off crying and limping. And she gets off right before the doors close. The guy's like, I told you shouldn't have done it. The door's closed. That is New York City. You can give your opinion. You can say whatever you want to say. You got to be able to back it up. And nobody's going to help you, because one thing the people in that city do is mind their damn business. Nobody got involved. No, that lady was losing that fight. Nobody got involved. So, yes, Gina, you can give your opinions in New York City, but you better be ready for what's coming after. Can we talk about her friend with the lippy vagina? The real talk, Gina. She probably is laughing with you guys, but she is crying on the way home in her car when she leaves your little ladies' night, your New York ladies' night. She's in that car crying herself all the way home. She's laughing about having a lippy vagina with you guys because you saw it one day, but she probably would have went the rest of her life and hopefully have wanted to go the rest of her life without you guys seeing it, because now every time at poker night, y'all bring up her lippy vagina. And since we're here on Gina, can we also talk about her husband? Oh, he's cute. She posted a picture of them on Instagram and I was like, ooh, okay, she got a real New York man. Because I was looking at him like, yep, he fits the culture. So now we're starting to see the breakup between, or the beginning of the breakup between Tamara and Shannon this season. And it's honestly, I'm approaching this breakup a little sad. And it's weird because Shannon got on my nerves last season. This season, I'm starting to like her. And I haven't liked her since her first time on this show because I felt like they bullied the hell out of her. Heather was horrible to Shannon. Horrible. So I liked her more then, and I'm starting to like her now because she got on my nerves for a very long time. The crazy town and the flipping out over absolutely nothing I couldn't take. But I'm starting to like her now, so it's hitting me a little differently than what I expected. I was elated when I saw that that relationship was breaking up. not because I like, you know, friends breaking up, but I just felt like that relationship was toxic. And I also felt like Tamara was only using her to get to Vicki. So I just didn't feel like it was a good relationship. But now that it's starting to happen, I'm feeling a bit sad because Tamara's feeling left out, that Shannon was hanging with Kelly. But I'm like, girl, they're bonding over divorce. They are walking through the same hell, you know, simultaneously. Different situations, but they are both walking through divorce. And I have never been married. I have never been divorced, but I have friends who have experienced it. And each and every one of them have told me it is like a death. It is like it might not be death, but you go through it. You have a mourning period. One of my friends lost her hair. Like it was a lot. She went through it. So I know it's some pain. I know it's a lot of pain. And to go through that and have somebody who's going through the same thing, who you can cry with and encourage and lift each other up at the same time, because although your girlfriends have went through it, they not going through it now. So she's going through the situation with somebody who's also going through it. So they just, it's sad, but that their divorces are bringing them together. And I'm all for it. I'm all for them having a good time. I'm all for Shannon living her best life now that her husband, who hasn't wanted her for a very long time, is divorcing her. I'm happy. I'm happy for her. I want her to have a good time. And I think it is a great thing for her to bond with Kelly, who's also walking through a fire as well and needs somebody who will be there. Because let's be real, the girls are not there for the girls getting to the girls who have men and are happy are not there for the girls who are going through a breakup. Tamara has not really been there for Shannon. Vicki has not really been there for Kelly. So they found each other and was like, let's get through this together. As a friend, Tamara, especially since you got your own thing going on with your husband, you need to be okay with that. If I was you, I would encourage that, because you are not equipped to give your girlfriend what she needs when your husband is going through an issue with his heart. It's just, it's not possible. So I don't know why she's feeling, oh, you didn't call me when Eddie did this. Oh, I just feel like you're spending more time with Kelly. You should want that, because you can't give her that. So if you're a friend and you see that your friend is in need and you can't serve her, but somebody else is serving her in a way that you are not able to, and it's helping her cope while you're dealing with your own thing, you should be fine with that. Now, the only thing I think that Tamara could feel some sort of way about is Shannon just not really being there for her with the Eddie situation. However, Shannon is going through a divorce right now and she's still figuring it out, right? Because Eddie is still friends with her ex. So it's a tough situation for her. So I wish Tamara would understand that. But I also feel like Tamara is now getting closer with Vicki. And I told y'all, when these two start becoming besties again, everybody else just starts falling by the wayside. So now that she's getting closer with Vicki, now she can start seeing issues in Shannon, but she wasn't seeing those issues in Shannon before, because Shannon was all she really had, because her and Vicki were breaking up. Now that her and Vicki are starting to get back to a good place, now it's just like, well, I don't like when Shannon does this. I don't like when Shannon does this. Even in her confessionals, she has a lot of stuff to say about Shannon all of a sudden, when she was defending the hell out of Shannon last season. They do it every season. I don't know why these broads try to become their best friends. Vicki and Tamara are soulmates. It is what it is. They will never break up. Do not get involved in their mess. Do not try to become besties with them. You will never be as close to Vicki and Tamara as Vicki and Tamara are as close to each other. It won't happen, y'all. Don't get involved in this mess. Be associates, be co-workers, be surface with them girls, because they are one and the same. I don't know how they linked up like that, but they are linked up. Okay, if they still cycle, I think they still cycle. You can still cycle in your 50s. Forgive me for my ignorance, but you know what I'm trying to say. They are linked up together. They are linked up together. You cannot break that. You cannot break that bond. It is what it is. Remain their co-workers. Don't try to be their best friend, because you will get your feelings hurt the next season. Also, I can't believe Miss Running Naked in Mexico, lit out of her mind, is telling somebody else to take it easy with the drinks and watch who she hang out with. Excuse me? Girl, bye. You got a broken foot from being reckless. Don't tell Shannon nothing. Emily's mother gives me Dynasty. I want to see what she was like back in the day, because this outfit that she wore to poker night, I said, work, mother. She could barely walk, but she had on her little leather bustier. I said, yes. I want to know what she was like in the 70s. She probably was one of them wealthy housewives that was wearing like bad coats, like bad fur coats with the baddest jewels. Always had red, like stiletto nails. big hair, crazy, you know, Studio 54 makeup, some bad dresses, some bad shoes, and was the nastiest of them all because she was the flyest and the richest. I want to see her story. Like, I want that miniseries. When she walked in, I said, oh, I want to know. I want to know everything about you. I want to know what you was like, how you met your man. Probably, you know, Kris Jenner hoeing back in the day. Let's be real. Them women back in the day used to hoe like nobody's business with them rich dudes. See, they had a plan. They knew what they were doing. They wasn't hoeing with no broke dudes. It was some rich dudes, and they was just like, I'm about to change my life. Let me go in here, put on this red lipstick and this leather bustier and get this dude's bank account. I want to see her story. I really, really do. Emily, sit down with your mother-in-law, write her story down and make it a mini-series. I'll watch it. I'll even review it because it looks like it's going to be juicy. She seems like she got some stories, and there are people who got stories about her. I want to know. I want to know. So Kelly's decomposing spine doctor was cheap. Like, she said that she saw his pink. Kelly, please don't tell me you, oh gosh, Kelly. You gotta start saving these Bravo checks. I don't want you out here, you know, just being desperate, making desperate moves. Because she talks about how she spent $700 on a dinner for him. What? Like, you investing in these dudes too? No shade. If I look like how I look and I get a guy like that, it's all money. So y'all know what it is. It's all money. I'm not spending a dime on you because I'm giving you the privilege to even grace this ebony dream. So I can't believe that Kelly was letting that weird masked man climb on top of her, and she was spending $700 on a dinner for him. Kelly, you doing this game all wrong, sweetie. You doing the game all wrong. Talk to Emily's mother-in-law and find out how to really do the game, because that woman knows how to run game. Trust and believe. So Kelly breaking down at poker about the whole Vicky situation. I don't think it was about Vicky introducing her ex-husband to his new girl, right? I think that was a tipping or like the icing on the cake for her. It was everything else, because Kelly starts crying about everything else about how Vicky didn't invite her to Thanksgiving. And I think what Vicky is starting to, what Kelly is starting to realize, what I have been saying since last season, since 2 seasons prior to when I started reviewing this show, is that Vicky and Tamara cannot be good friends to other people. They can only be good friends to each other. And Vicky was clearly using Kelly during the time that her and Tamara were on the outs. And now that Vicky and Tamara are getting back together, Kelly is starting to see the kind of friend that Vicky can actually be. And it's hurting her because she realized she's never been that friend to her. Now, Kelly may have been that friend to Vicky, but Vicky has never been that friend to her. And truth be told, she don't want to, and she never will be. Vicky will not be the kind of friend to Kelly that Kelly wants. Like, when she got back into good graces with Tamara, she threw her away. Like, she used you for that time. She needed somebody to film with because all of the women were done with her, and she found you because you were new and you were gullible, and it is what it is. And I think that's what Kelly is starting to realize. That's why she's doing all this breaking down and falling apart. Even when Vicky was like, how do we fix it? She was like, let's just not talk about it anymore. Because she's realizing that she was played. And it's unfortunate, but I'm just like, girl, hasn't she been on here for like 2 seasons? Haven't you had 2 seasons to see this already, how Vicky operates? I don't know why these girls come on this show, these women, come on this show and don't do like recon. Like, I would have watched every episode, studied all the chicks, and just figured out how to do it. I don't know why I just thought about this, but I have a video saved of Alexis, Jesus Barbie, like doing a makeup tutorial on YouTube. Jesus Barbie is on YouTube doing makeup tutorials. Girl, if you don't go back and get your orange, I want her on this show. I am going to do a campaign to get Jesus Barbie back on the Real Housewives of Orange County, because seriously, now that she's getting a divorce from that weird pimp of a husband, he was weird. He was weird, and I honestly felt like he was like pimping her. It was how he treated her. Oof, uncomfortable. I liked her on the show, but I was glad when she got off because their marriage made me very uncomfortable. But now that she's getting a divorce from him, I feel like she'll be a lot freer. We'll get a different Jesus Barbie. Maybe not so much Jesus. I'm not saying I want that, Lord. But, you know, maybe we'll get a different side of her. So I'm interested to see how she would be on the show. When I'm done with this review, I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch that makeup tutorial and get my life. Oh, Lord. So, at this poker party, Gina got the brown liquor and sis is getting sloppy. Gina, you can't blame this on New York. That is you. Like, the thing about Gina, the way she really feels about somebody comes out when she drinks. She is like an honest drunk. You know, some people are the sad drunk or, you know, an angry, violent drunk. She's just honest. Like, that is truth serum for Gina. Brown liquor is truth serum for Gina. Because when she says to the ladies, I think they handled it so well. They handled that plastic surgery shade very well, because Gina was like, oh, this game isn't fair. You guys have had so much work done. Nobody can tell that you're cheating. My face hasn't been touched. Vicky was like, you know, when Vicky does that shock thing, and because she got the fillers, Tamara wanted to say something, but she's, you know, working on herself. Shannon, you know, I thought she was gonna go crazy town, but she didn't. And speaking of Shannon, sis, no need to lie. No need to lie, especially when you were showing throwback photos of you. Like last season and the season prior, she was showing throwback photos of like her and David at their wedding, her and David with their children. Shannon didn't look like that. And I'm not a Botox girl. I was gonna say Botox. I'm not a Botox kind of girl, right? Never done. Have I done anything? No, I've never done anything to my face, and I won't. I just feel like no shade. No shade, just tea. I just feel like the stuff that is out now, like the plastic surgery and all that stuff, I feel like it's made for people with a more European eccentric kind of face. Like, that's why when black people get nose jobs, it looks a mess, because they're putting a Caucasian nose on a black face. It's like, why are you giving me like George Washington's nose? I'm a sister. Like, nah. And you know, I also wouldn't do any kind of plastic surgery to my face because perfection. Have you? Listen, don't let this double chin fool you. Sis is getting snatched. When I get snatched and these cheekbones come back out, chick. Woo! Wait, let me tell you something. I was in a different place when I was a size 6. I was going through a lot. My grandmother had just passed and a lot was going on in my mind. I ain't know what I was rocking with then, but now I know, and I'm getting back. One size down so far. Thanks, guys. 4 more to go, right? Oh, wait, no, 3. Damn, I was going to be dead if I got skinny. Let's move on. But yeah, Shannon, your face ain't just a couple of Botox injections. It's a bit more. Like, come on. We're gonna move on from that, but sis, stop lying. Anyway, Gina, the longer this poker game goes on, the more she drinks, and I mean, she is a mess. She is dragging the ladies for filth, making all kinds of comments, screaming, and like, listen, Gina is loud, okay? I'm a black woman from the city of Philadelphia, and to me, that woman is loud. I get what the ladies are talking about, but Vicky, how dare you try to make it seem like she is like loud and trashy when you're the whoop it up lady? Like, Vicky does all this whoop it up and people don't feel like it, but the thing about it is, Vicky is that type of person who has lived in a certain society where, because Vicky, her family ratchet. Can we just be real? Her family, she come from white ratchets. So she was able to put on a different cloak, you know, and become this person to attain a certain amount of money. And now she's in a certain tax bracket and now in a certain kind of class. So she keeps herself very tightly wound 24/7 and then makes these whoop it up trips so that who Vicky really is can just have the time to just breathe and, you know, just be her real authentic self. She has to schedule trips because the whoop it up Vicky will not be invited to the certain circles that she is in and are trying to get into. So with that, she looks down on people like Kelly or Gina. They live their lives 100% authentically themselves. Gina and Kelly are Gina and Kelly 24/7, and Vicky doesn't like it, which is why when she's talking to Kelly, she tries to tell her how to speak, tell her how to act, tell her how to react, because that's what Vicky has done to get what she has gotten, and that's where, or received, or attained. It's gotten, yeah, gotten is a word. felt myself becoming Vicky. But that's what she has done. So she has, you know, altered herself and chained up herself in, you know, certain aspects of her life so that she can get these certain things. And she kind of wants to put that on the both of them, but it's not fair because they are who they are and they're happy about it and they don't want what you want. So you can't look down on them and try to change them because that's what you did. You changed, you've crumbled, you know, put yourself in a box that society puts women into so that you can attain a certain amount of success. You can't look down on other women who don't do that. Now, I'm not saying that she's looking down, but there's something about her that tries to like fix them, you know, kind of like her. And I don't think it comes from her just like being snooty. I think it comes from a place of jealousy and anger because she couldn't do that. Vicky couldn't live like that and have what she now has. And she's mad because she's with these women who can live like that and they're on the same freaking show. So maybe that's what bothers her about Kelly and about Gina, because the way she was talking about Gina reminded me of how she talks about Kelly, and I'm just like, they're living their best lives and they're having a good time. Why is that bothering you, Miss Whoop It Up? But you only whoop it up in places where you feel protected and that's not your workplace. And I get it. I get it. There's a way you act at work. There's a way you act on vacation. But some women don't have to do that. Some people don't have to do that. And you can't be mad and try to chastise those who are able to live free all the time. So now let's get into me linking up and being Team Gina for the remainder of this episode and next week's episode, because Emily's husband was wrong. And the fact that Emily sat there and, no, honey, okay, I get it. No, he was wrong. You should have checked him. First of all, he got way too much to say for him to be 5'4". Okay? A 5'4" man should not be that opinionated. I don't care how much money you got, bro. He had way too much to say. And for him to yell and tell Emily to get Gina out of their house, she was an invited guest. If you don't like how your guest is acting, don't invite them back. But to yell and scream at them and to, like, first of all, 5'4" and all, okay? You're still a man and you're yelling at this woman to get out of her house. And I feel like there was more that happened with their story, because it was just, oh, get her out, she's drunk. I don't think it would have been a part of the storyline, but it was obviously he said some things because he was standing there real sassy, hand on hip. No, I was like, wait a minute. He was like, I don't like loud women. I'm like, excuse me, sir? From all the way down there. I don't like loud women. And you can't have loud women in my house. I tend to stay away from loud women. The way that he was talking about women, I was like, nah, Emily, check that. Check your little hobbit husband, because what he did to Gina was, we didn't see it, and I think they didn't give us the footage to protect them because it would not have went over nicely. That's what they do sometimes. Like, they slip up. A lot of these cast members slip up and say like racist and homophobic and just nasty things, and production is just like, for us to get another season, we can make it controversial, but let's not put everybody out of work, because especially in this climate, you can't be racist and you can't be sexist. You're not getting another season. You're not getting another check in this world if you're, especially in this nation, if we know that you are sexist and racist and homophobic. It ain't happening. So I feel like they cut out a lot of stuff to protect them. That's the only conclusion I could come up to as to why they did not keep the cameras rolling or give us that footage, because they were still rolling when Gina was just like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. They never showed it. They never showed the footage of him flipping out. They don't even show it in the preview. So I think they removed that footage to protect Emily and her tiny husband. Eeny, weeny, teeny, super guy. Remember him? Oh, yeah, but even he was more respectful than Emily's husband. And just like his ex, there were children upstairs. First of all, why the hell y'all having these adult parties with children when children are sleeping? For him to be like so wealthy that he doesn't need to work, he wants to work, you can't get a place that has like, you can't get an estate that has a little fun home on it. What are those homes called? See, you can tell I ain't got an estate. But you know, like I have been to parties where there's an estate, specifically Jamie Foxx's house. Woohoo! that brother got money. But I have been to parties where there are estates and they have homes on the estate, and this is like your home is where they have like the Thanksgiving and the holiday parties, but then they got that other little place where they have, you know, the adult parties. And I ain't been to no adult party, but you know what I mean, where it's like you have your poker game, or you have your ladies night, or it's something where you want to stay up late and you don't want to disturb the children. You got that little section of the home, or that little separate home. I even have friends who are like middle class who had something like that. Like when their kids were sleeping and we would come over, we would all go hang out in the back, and there was like a guest house. Yes, Nikki, I knew if I talked enough, I would get it. A guest house. Y'all don't have that? Y'all got all that money and y'all don't have a guest house? Something in the water ain't clean. And I hope the IRS is watching, because y'all over here playing these rich people games and y'all ain't really got the money. Anyway, Team Gina, 100%, Emily needed to check her husband, because when he was sitting over there holding on to the counter, looking up at her and talking about how he don't like loud women, especially in his house. And I was just like, honey, check your husband. That wasn't right what he did. I did not like what he said, specifically the things that he said about women, and to try to justify it where there are children in the home sleeping. Why the hell are you having a poker game then if your kids are home? I'm feeling like he wanted to come down and participate with the ladies. That's the problem. He don't like groups of women hanging out in his home because he can't come and hang out with the ladies. He wanted to be a part of the ladies' night as well. You better check that, Emily. He was wrong. He was dead wrong. I did not like it. I feel like I'm going to dislike him even more next episode, because Emily seems like she's going to be defending her husband, and honey, no, what he did was wrong. I didn't like it. And the thing about it is, guys, we didn't have the footage, but his response and the way he was sitting there and just being real sassy with it, and just like not taking anything back, not feeling bad, and then started talking about the other women. I was like, oh, you gonna be that husband that we not gonna like, and you gonna really find out how the viewers feel about men getting into women's business. We watch the Housewives. We don't watch the husband. I personally do not like it when husbands get involved in the drama within the girl cliques. Like, shut up. I don't want you having an opinion about none of the women. I don't want you saying anything. I don't want you getting into it with the women concerning me. Nah, don't do that. It's for me, it's very unattractive. And I'm always looking at women who allow their husbands to hold the purse and start cussing all the broads out in the within the community that they're having, in their girl clique that they're having an issue with. I'm always looking at them like, what's going on here? What is going on here? Because like, should we trade places? Like, should we throw you out the group and bring him in? Because why are you so invested in what we're doing here? This ain't none of your business. And this ain't your damn show, little man. So you better walk lightly. I'm telling y'all, I got so heated at that last scene, especially his reaction, because I know just by his reaction he was nasty to that woman. And the only reason why he felt comfortable with saying that is because he knew, because Emily did all that talking, that all of them been talking, that she is in problems with her husband and that he's nowhere close. I guarantee you that tall, brown, stocky man that Gina married, if that husband would have known that he was still in her life, he wouldn't have talked to her like that. Men do punk stuff, like punk men do stuff like that. Like they will, especially if they know that you are single, or there's like, or your husband is a stranger, he's not close, you know what I mean, like he can't get to him right away, they will approach you and treat you and talk to you a certain way, because they know that no man is there to protect you, because they respect men more than they respect women. A lot of them don't respect women at all, and that's what he was pushing, and I didn't like it. And Emily, I like you. I don't like your little husband with the sassy mouth, okay? That keeps his hand on his hips and wrings his neck when he's talking about the women in your circle. Nope. So I can't wait for next week, because I hope he gets dragged. I really, really do, because what he did was wrong. And I'm telling y'all, I just know he was horrible by his reaction the next day. Emily, stop hosting parties in your home. If your wealthy husband can't get you in the state to have those lavish parties that you want to have with your girlfriends, like, why are you having a party like that if it's disturbing your home? And why are you offering to watch the kids while she's having a party if it's going to be a problem for you? He probably didn't want the party there in the first place. Anyway, I'm done with him. Team Gina, let me know what y'all think about this episode in the comments section below. Actually, let me know what you think about Emily's husband, because I didn't like what he did. I did not like what he did. It rubbed me the wrong way, and the fact that she couldn't reel him in, problem. That's it for me, guys. If you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next week for the following episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County.